Yo, what's going on, Planet S.O.N family? It's your main man, JD. Thank you for tuning in. This is Drinks with JD. All right, ready, legend? All right, my main man, Dido Brown.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for being here, my brother.
Thanks
I'm
for
truly
having
appreciative. No, thank you. It really means a lot that you're here. I'm appreciative. All right, so since it's our first time sitting down together, can you please introduce yourself to the Planet S.O.N audience? Can you please let them know who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
I'm Dido Brown. Used to be a gangster rapper, now gospel rapper. Was a gangster rapper, music producer, businessman. From here, Southeast San Diego. And do the same thing I used to do, produce music and share it with the world.
All right, no doubt. All right, respect. All right, legend. So, as a fan, just looking in, you can never say Dido Brown without mentioning these words, and it's always hustler, lyricist, businessman, good father, and man of faith. Your reputation, you built it through your amazing work ethic and your integrity, where your great reputation precedes you, right? You worked so hard that you even went platinum by selling over 1 million copies out the trunk, right? So my first question is, how proud are you of yourself for being a pillar, a good example, and a pioneer in San Diego hip hop?
It's humbling. It's my honor. I really have to thank God and give it all to him, man, because I wouldn't have been able to do everything. But to me, it is really an honor to influence the community in the right way.
No doubt.
It's always been, so when people see me and they tell me they're doing something, they're pushing hard their music because they saw my DVD, or they're going to church now or they're walking with the Lord because they heard my gospel album or heard my testimony, man, or they're doing legit business, they used to sell dope and they saw my DVD, man, that's what it's all for, and I'm just thankful. Hard work, it pays off. Nothing's going to happen if you don't work hard. I've always pushed guys to hustle. Hustle hard, go home, or go hard in the paint or go home. That's always been like my motto.
That's what I'm talking about. You could tell. Everybody could tell that Dido Brown is, his work ethic is tremendous. Yeah,
it's not the best talented. I've always said that. It's like football or music, acting, you name it, whatever it is. It's not the most talented. It's the one that works the hardest.
That's right.
That's who gets on. It's work ethic, and I really learned that from my grandparents.
No doubt.
My parents,
Okay. Well, speaking about, I guess, family, let's take it back, just so the audience will get to know you, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so let me ask, where were you born and raised?
I was born here in San Diego. My family's mostly from National City.
Okay.
But my grandparents had a ranch in Hummel. Okay. So, I was back and forth and banged in Lamita Village, Southeast San Diego, like right joining the streets. When I stopped, riding bikes and playing sports, I started getting into the streets and hustling and selling dope. I started selling weed when I was in like 5th grade. That was like my first hustle.
Okay, no doubt. Okay. Well, that's what kind of taught you as well to put the hustle or have that hustling mind towards the music.
And I wasn't spoiled like so many kids. My grandparents, they're old fashioned. They're not from this country, and you had to buy your own. I got my first job when I was sixth grade. I used to just like how I used to hustle in the streets and get kids out the streets and put them in the streets and teach them how to hustle. I used to be in the streets myself and just talk to people while I was out there. I'd be on my bike after school and, ma'am, can I, take your groceries to your car? How you doing? That's where I got to talk to people and then, get donations from them. And then some guys asked me, hey, man, what are you doing out here? And I said, they're like, where are your parents at? I said, I live with my grandma, man, and she's cool. Because I was always at the liquor store like all day, all night in the parking lot. And they said, do you want a job? We'll pay you $2 under the table to sweep, to mop, to stock the coolers. And, man, I got paid every day cash. Wow. So I worked there every day, and they would give me all the old candy that was like old, they couldn't sell, and I would sell it at school. I've been hustling like bro since I've been young.
No doubt. That's what I'm
so I bought my own clothes, I bought my own shoes, I bought my own bikes. You know what I mean? And that really is what taught me. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother, I remember one day I was in fourth grade. You know, kids all get new clothes and new shoes.
Yes.
And I said, Grandma, you know, I want some, you know, can I get some new shoes? And she looked at my shoes and she said, what's wrong with those? You know, and my grandparents are old fashioned. My grandma raised me in church, man, and they're really old. It's like I worked before I went to school, had to go get eggs from the chickens,
Yes.
had to, you know, feed the animals, then go to school, then come back home and water trees all day. You know what I mean? So I'm so used to working, man. And then my dad really pushed school, like, if you mess around in school, that's how you're gonna mess around in work. So that work ethic was like really instilled in me when as a youngster, you know.
I know. Well, you're speaking about your grandparents, right?
Yeah.
Where are your grandparents from?
Guam.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever visited Guam?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I toured there 2007, and I actually retired. I was making so much money at that year. I retired my mom.
Wow.
I got her a house back there, took her back home to Guam.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was a blessing, man. It was beautiful.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And, but it was good. My family's mixed, though. You know, so married into Mexicans, mostly Mexican. You know, some white, some.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, but mostly Chamorro and Mexican.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, okay. And you were also mentioning your schools. What schools did you attend growing up?
I went to a school in Hamul, and then I went to a Christian school also in Hamul. That's a lot of change in my life there. I learned so much there, especially about music.
Okay.
I went to Olivewood in National City.
Okay.
Like I went so much back and forth. I would be mostly with my grandparents, and I'd be with my dad or with my mom. You know, I had a broken family, broken home. And as a kid, I was so broken. That's why I was so broken. I used to be praying as a kid, like, Lord, where's my parents at?
Yes.
You know, but my grandma, she raised me in church. She taught me prayer. Then my godparents, I lived with them, and they would always take me to church, and they put me in Christian school, and I kind of seen the dynamics of a family, how it functions, you know. Because if I would, like at my grandma's house, either they're crazy for the Lord, or they're on drugs and in gang, you know, in the streets, or you know, and so I got a balance, you know. Some days I'd be living over here in the hood, and then I'd be, you know, up there with really predominantly upper class white people.
Yes.
There was only 3 Brown families in Hamul.
Oh, wow.
It was us and the 2 Mexican families
Okay.
and we all stuck together. We hung out at school, and
No doubt.
you know.
Earlier right now, you were speaking about biking and other interests.
Yep.
Other than music, what else were you interested in growing up?
I used to ride BMX as a kid.
Okay, can you talk about that?
Yeah. Me and my friends, we had a BMX crew. This was a long time ago, man. You know, and we used to just ride jumps and, you know, something positive. I used to skate. I did everything, man. I was heavy into sports, especially like baseball.
Yes.
I ran track. I did everything. I was a nerd in school too.
Okay.
I got straight A's, man. Like school was super easy for me.
Oh, wow.
I was supposed to be a lawyer.
Yes.
But I tell people I tell my mom, because my mom said we're supposed to be a lawyer. I was supposed to be a lawyer. My brother's supposed to be a doctor. My other brother in finance.
Yes.
They actually are both that. My brother's a doctor.
Yeah.
My other brother's in finance. And I told my mom, I'm still a lawyer because I work for the biggest law firm, our defender, Jesus. And I tell people that you're free to go.
That's what I'm talking about. That's
you know
what I'm
I mean?
talking about. Yeah.
It still got, when I thought I had plans, you know, the plans I had, that's not what God had for me, man.
Yes.
So I'm humbled every day, because when I look back at my life and everything, it's just, it's humbling how good He's been to me.
Amen. So, when were you first interested in music?
My dad actually was a leader of a band. He was a trumpet player. He played every instrument, actually. My uncle toured with Lionel Richie.
Wow.
My mom always took me. I think I was like 2-3 years old. I went to a Curtis Blow concert.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So I've always loved music.
Yes.
My mom used to be dancing, and you know, and what
That's
I've always,
amazing.
you know, when I was a kid, I would jam to Michael Jackson, and you know, and I just loved music.
Yes.
You know, since I've been a kid, and then my uncle used to take me to the studio with him up in L.A. And he would tell me, like, you know, just be still and don't be messing around. You should sit there. And so I just watched him. I watched him record, and then I would see him at my grandma's house. He had a little studio there, and I would watch him, man. He's a very talented musician, man.
Wow.
I seen him. He was going to tour. He was going to Switzerland. He was touring with Lionel Richie in the 80s. We watched him on Saturday Night Live, you know, and we recorded it back there was VCRs. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, so, you know, music's in my family. All my uncles, they all were in a band. like in the 60s, 70s. And so I just always, I loved music.
Yes.
Always loved music, all kinds of music, but mostly, you know, when rap came out, it really, really hooked me.
Okay. So when did you know that you fell in love with the hip hop genre?
daygo.